Sup folks and welcome back to a new old game that's kind of new and kind of old. It's Monster Hunter Generations. Also, I'm back too. It's been a while. I can explain that after I get everything set up and do my totally cool explanation. Yeah, so anyway, life's been kind of busy as per usual. Been trying to do stuff on the background on the side. Certain situations, family, non-family, all that kind of stuff. Just kind of taking up time. Kind of not having a lot of opportunities to actually do a lot of recordings. And then things just kind of falling back into place where I could actually start doing recordings again. And I've been wanting to like get more into recordings in general again. Because like, you know, you got to go all in. You got to either go big or go home. But before I get back into that, let me actually do this explanation and setup. So yeah, I'm playing Monster Hunter Generations Ultimate. It's the, as they essentially call it, the ultimate version of Monster Hunter Generations that originally released on the 3DS. They released it on the Switch last year only in Japan, and finally just brought it here in the US. What I assume Capcom was trying to do was not trying to cannibalize off of the success or the gamble that was Monster Hunter World, which was built for Western audiences. But that was made for, you know, that wasn't made for the Switch. Like, the game would have been too, it would have been too much of something. The Switch wouldn't have been able to handle it. So that's why they essentially kind of sandbagged the Switch for a little while. And in addition to that, they also sandbagged Monster Hunter Generations Ultimate, despite Double Cross being ready in Japan for a while now. Like, you could have imported Double Cross and you could have just been able to play it straight up. But either way, you know, I'm not going to be too salty about that. Unfortunately, I did kind of sandbag Monster Hunter World because I knew there was so much good stuff in that game that I didn't want to. I knew it was going to be hard to get back into this version of Monster Hunter should it ever actually make it onto the Switch. And Monster Hunter itself is already such a big time sink, I know that I do not want to juggle two Monster Hunters at the same time. So, yeah, that's just kind of the whole background there. Shoot, actually, I'm so busy talking about everything else. What in the world is the mission? Quest info. Glavenus, Hunter, ooh, okay, that's a good start. Hunter Glavenus. Alright, that shouldn't be too hard. It's gonna be around here somewhere. And a funny story about this recording, this is actually the second take, because there's always seems to be a thing where when you, the time when you least want the phone to ring is the time when it usually does ring. Like, you live in a house or an apartment or something, and like you got to go into another room, so you figure, I'll just leave the phone here for a little while. And then you're in that other room and you just hear it ringing. Like you're in a meeting, an important meeting with people or something, and like the phone just starts ringing, even though like no one ever usually calls you at most given times. But it's like, nah, out of all the times now, I feel like calling this guy now. I feel like talking to DT now, so I'm going to call him now. It doesn't matter what he's busy with. And if he doesn't want to pick up, he won't pick up. It'll just ring incessantly until it stops ringing. So, you know, that's always fun. But yeah, Hunting the Glavenus should be around here some. There he is. Yeah. Lesson 1 of being a master monster hunter. Always be sure to throw your paintball foist. That way, if they run away from you like a... Ooh. It'll be easy to trap. Alright. It'll be easy to hunt them down if they run away. Because you look over on that map on the top right, you see a little pink dot that's constantly moving around. That's the monster that I tagged with a paintball. Yeah. And, then I probably should have prepped for this a little bit better. The funny thing is that Monster Hunter is such a niche game for a Western audience that, despite its success of World, I think people are still, it's still not as popular as it could be, especially not compared to how Japan just eats this game up every time there's a release. Aha, I toppled you. Try to shake me off? I won't let you. Alright, gotta get it. But yeah, when I first tried to get into I tried to get into Monster Hunter back on the PSP, and I was thinking like, hey, Monster Hunter, that sounds pretty cool. I'll just borrow it from my brother for a little bit. And I just struggled, like, to even get into it. Like, you can't jump. Like, you can barely, like, what's the button to run? You gotta hold the R trigger? Like, that's weird. So, like, I didn't even put in more than, like, 30 minutes until, okay. I didn't even put in like 30 minutes into the game before I just kind of like gave up on it. And then what happened? Oh, that's fine. So then, being a Nintendo fan and owning a Nintendo Wii, Capcom then released Monster Hunter Tri for the Wii. And I was like, alright, I'll give this game another try. And I don't even remember what happened. I think like I gave up super quickly on that one too, because it's just such a weird window to get into. There's not really much explanation for anything, especially when you play the demos. If there's ever actually a demo. It's like, how do you do this move? How do you do this attack? And one thing that really messed me up at the very at the very beginning was was realizing that it's not your traditional like character action game. What are you doing? What are you doing, guy? Are you crazy? Are you crazy? You're not you and you're hungry. But what is it though? Yeah, like it's such a niche type of game. Got him. That like I'm wondering like why are these moves so heavy? Why do I have to commit to these moves so much? Why can't I just like beat up these monsters? Where's the health gauge? Where's the life gauge? How much damage am I even doing? How do I know when I'm actually gonna get close to beating this guy? And it turns out that they kind of stilted it on purpose. That's part of the design of the game. And I think as soon as I realized that, I got a whole lot more into the game than ever before. Even though it still took me a while to understand everything. But like, every new entry of Monster Hunter, I started to understand. Ooh. Wow, I got hit so hard I got knocked to the other area. But as time went on, I started to understand like what Monster Hunter was about, how it worked, where the fun was actually at. And after you figured that out, it becomes a whole lot better than like what you think it might have or was supposed to be. Thankfully, Monster Hunter World did kind of fix some of those problems, where I wouldn't really say problems, but like what most people would call it. Oh god, no, it's gonna hurt. There was nothing I could do. But yeah, that a lot of the fixes in World, oof, I thought I was gonna get hit. A lot of the fixes in World were quality of life improvements. All right, let me get to that vitality thing. Thank you. Yeah, is he running to the next? Okay, that's fine. That actually gives me a chance to actually recover. Yeah, in Monster Hunter World, a lot of the changes were like quality of life improvements. So like how you're not stuck sitting still for like 5 hours while trying to fix your stuff. You can actually dodge out of it. Like if you're trying to gather things, you could actually like pick it up as you're running, as opposed to having to completely stop, dig, pick it up, get that prompt, and then continue on. So I'm hoping that like World will continue the trend, but I would like to be able to continue playing on my, Nintendo systems, because I like the portability. I love the portability. Like, as I was growing up, but yeah, as I was growing up, like, above most other consoles that I did play, most of my game time was on my Game Boy. Ah, jeez. But yeah, most of my game time was on my Game Boys, like the Game Boy Pocket, the Game Boy Color, the GBA, the GBA SP, the Nintendo DS, and Nintendo 3DS. Like, the PlayStation Portable to an extent. Like, I still played home console games, but I was just really into portable games because, I guess to explain that a little bit more, ooh, I'm about to faint. I should probably stop fooling around. But yeah, earlier on, when I'm growing up, being a military brat, like, we always moved around all over the place. Like, we were always on the move, we were always going somewhere. So I always had my Game Boy or some gaming device in my pocket. This was also before the days of smartphones, so boy, I sound old. But yeah, so the Game Boy was like the go-to. Like, yeah, sure, you could read books, but you can't catch Pokemon and save the day and rescue Zelda in a book. I mean, you could write a fan fiction, I guess, but it's just not the same. I mean, one of the most distinct things I can remember is that, like, when my family was trying to move to Germany one time, we had to go through the hoops of, signing up and getting into a new household. And being the kid that I was, like, I wasn't really going to be handling much of that household stuff. But there had to be time to be killed while waiting for all that stuff to happen. So I distinctly remember like just sitting in the office playing Pokemon Pinball on my Game Boy Color while just waiting. And like that game is too simple even by today's standards. But it's just such a distinct memory of my childhood of like what I was just doing for like literally hours, if not days, during my downtime, of course. Alright, I can't not see what's going on right now. This dang 30 frames per second ain't really working out too well. Yeah, it definitely doesn't float too well for fast movements, but you can kind of get the gist of what's going on. Nice. Alright, charging, 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 action! Yeah. So yeah, did I just break another? Wow, I'm just breaking everything. But yeah, there's one thing I'm trying to do, which is like try to break the monster's tail, because you can get some really good stuff if you do break his tail. Oh yeah, I mean, I'm explaining Monster Hunter as if people never played it before, but maybe people haven't. This is gonna hurt. Hey, it didn't hurt. So, hunting monsters is only like maybe half the battle. The other part is gathering equipment or gear and stuff so that you can fight stronger monsters, because there's no leveling up in this game. He's limping, he's almost done for. Get back here. I ain't done with you. Ooh, when I get my hands on you. Well, he's gonna keep fighting? No, he's gonna run away. Alright. So, now that's quieted down a little bit, I can actually do a little bit of explaining. So in Monster Hunter, hunting monsters is only half the battle. The other part is gathering stuff so that you can craft things, so you can make better stuff, so you can fight stronger monsters. Because there's no leveling up in this game, so you don't really get strength increases by completing more missions. The only way to increase your strength is by getting, quote-unquote strength, is by getting better weapons. And you get better weapons by collecting stuff around the field, and especially like hunting these monsters. Alright, no, not yet. Okay. Chill for a moment. Chill for a moment. Focus on the other guys. I'm trying to do something here. I'm trying to set my trap. Aha! You've activated my trap card. Fallen. Fallen. Yeah! 1 and 2. There we go. And now to do a celebration dance. Hot-tighty-tighty-tighty-tie. Hot-tighty-tighty-tighty-tie. But yeah, so, in order to progress in this game, what in the world? Oh, you don't like my dance? Fine. Yeah, you gotta do stuff to earn more stuff, to fight more stuff. It's kind of like an endless cycle in a way, and honestly, that kind of makes Monster Hunter feel like a MMORPG in a way, even though it's nowhere close to being an MMORPG. Most of the time, you can actually hunt with friends, but you can only hunt with up to 4 different friends, so that's definitely not an MMO thing going on there, but, you know, it's a fun game. Speaking of, I wish I had like a better explanation that went through this a lot better, but hopefully y'all didn't mind this episode being the first one in a little while. And what I figured is that what I could do is do maybe an episode per mission, because they do take a decent amount of time. Jump in and out, because it's also mission-based, see how I feel. If you're all looking for more Monster Hunter, let me know in the comment section below, otherwise you'll never see this again. And do not worry, I do plan to continue Zelda and jump into other games. I got a whole list of games. God, I have a whole list of games I can totally play. Yeah, we'll get into that sooner or later. Thanks for watching. See you guys next time. Peace.